Hi guys, Penem here again. Today we've got the second part of the old school I think it's 2004 starter deck evolution series, which is basically we're doing some OCG GOAT format from scratch. Obviously we're working with OCG cards, so we don't especially know everything, so we're only going to use old cards from the first 6 sets and the first 6 decks if we ever do find other decks. In the last vid, we opened the Yugi Evolution starter deck, so this time around, we're going the KAIBA Evolution starter deck. And last time we used some white sleeves, so this time we're going to use some black sleeves. So the purpose of this little series I'm doing is to start a little GOAT format style series where my girlfriend and I will be participating in games against each other using only cards from the series I've listed last time. And we're going to start off, each of us, with one starter deck, and later on we'll add some cards from different booster boxes we open in videos. And we will play against each other and film it, and hopefully this will bring you guys some nostalgia, and you guys will also want to see this because old cards are just epic. Back then, the combos weren't as elaborate as today, but they were still very existent, and they were still very relevant. A lot of good combos have just been forgotten through the years, and hopefully we'll be seeing them and bringing them back to life in this mini-series. So, of course, we're only going to be using some Korean cards, and I do not read Korean, so you will have to be tolerant with me on this one. I started learning Japanese, but not Korean, while my girlfriend started learning Korean and not Japanese. So we'll see how this goes. I have the nostalgia in effect, because I did participate in games back then, while she didn't, but she will understand her cards better than I will. So we'll see if my memory serves me better. So basically we have our classic old school rule book. Ooh, humidity was not nice to it. We hear some crackling a bit, like the pages started sticking together. But it's the official rule book from back then. Very cool. We have our old school mat with the fusion zone. Fusion zone for the fusion deck, obviously. And we have our field zone, I believe. Cool. And since it's an OCG deck, we do not have the normal way of sealing decks. We have this plastic band. So that's that for the opening. Now to see what we have in the deck. So these old decks had 50 cards in them, and that's what makes them a little more special. I mean, they do allow you to have 50 cards in the main deck instead of the 40 that is suggested nowadays. And the old school decks were based around characters more than an actual archetype or something like that. So these decks are a little more random, and that's what gives them their charm. I really just like the old school art, old school way of building decks with themes that revolve around more of a attribute slash character than an actual specific monster family and stuff. So we'll get started opening these. Just like for the last vid, this one I did not read beforehand any of the names or anything. I'm really just going on my memory, and this is a deck from at least 12 to 14 years ago, so please be tolerant. I will do my best to remember the names and effects. Of course, I will remember a good deal of them, but I might not remember the full things. So here we have our first ultra rare, and the only ultra rare in this opening. It's Kaiser Seahorse, I believe, which allows you to tribute him to tribute summon a light monster, but he will count as 2 tributes, which is very important in this deck because this is KAIBA's deck. You obviously want to summon Blue Eyes. It's the main monster after all. So very cool card. It's also a 1700 beat stick, which is very relevant in the gold format. So very happy to see this guy. We'll sleeve him up just because. There we go. As I mentioned, these will be used for playing against each other with the KAIBA and Yugi decks. So we are going to fully sleeve the decks eventually, and we will sleeve some cards that we will add and switch out or whatever. But for this video, we're just gonna sleeve the foils because it does tend to get a little long and tedious. We have Blue Eyes White Dragon. Very cool. Love the artwork on this one. The foil too and everything. Love it. Very, very awesome card. Reminds me a lot of good times from back in the days. This is also the artwork that was chosen for the 2017 Megatins. It was also used in the original Legend of Blue Eyes, I believe. This was the artwork that was used for the Blue Eyes in there. And I think it was also used in another tin, but I'm not sure anymore. But I believe the first Blue Eyes tin was this artwork too. Wonder if this is the favorite artwork for Blue Eyes for Kazuki Takahashi, which is the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh! We also have what's its name again? Is it Binding Chains? Is it Shadow Chains? Something like that. Chains that decreases the attack of the opponent's monster by 700. Can't change position nor attack. Something like that. It's very good. It was a very useful card back in the days because not a lot of attack stopping combos existed, and attack modulating was a very important way of getting over strong monsters your opponent controlled. Like if you had a Blue Eyes and the opponent used this on your Blue Eyes, well, you distributed 2 monsters to get a 3000 attack monster on your field, and now you can't use it for attacks. It becomes a 2300 and you can't even put it in defense, which was a very big deal back then because resources were scarce. Decks were not as fast as today, and losing 2 or 3 cards in one turn was not something you wanted to see at all. Even nowadays you don't, but back then was even worse. We have Battle Ox, which was a pretty decent beat stick also back then. We have, oh damn, is that, it's something dragon. Kaminari Dragon? No, I'm getting that name wrong. That's another dragon, I believe. I don't remember. But it was just a okay card. Just like, let's say it's KAIBA's equivalent to Beaver Warrior or something cheesy like that. We have Rogue Dog. Not bad. 1600 attack. We have, I believe this is Kojikosi or something like that. A lot of people found this name funny in my elementary school, so I kind of remember the name because of that more than anything else. This is Urabi. I believe the memes tell that this card, this little boy right here, is fast on his feet. Something cheesy like that in the vanilla story right here. It's not that powerful, but it's fast on its feet. Something like that. It's just funny more than anything. We have Mystic Horseman, I believe. We have, oh damn, is that the Kojiko? No, wait, no. I don't remember this card's name. Okay, I honestly do not remember, but the artwork is awesome. When I was younger, I used to think that this was his chin just coming down, but it's just the other forearm. But yeah, that was when I was younger, way younger. We have Legend, Mystical Genie of the Lamp, which was a very good beat stick, honestly. 1800 attack for a dark monster. That was very easily boosted, and you just went over a lot of opponents' monsters using this. We have the Phoenix thing. I don't remember the full name or anything, but it was a funny card to use because it had 1550. So you could go over a few monsters, but a lot of monsters could also go over this, and you had to do some math with the 50s instead of hundreds, which was a pain. We have, oh, this is another big syllable name thing. Damn, a lot of weird names in the KAIBA deck, really. This is Yurio's something cheesy like HY something. It's a very good defense monster. If my camera can focus, yeah. It's very good in defense, and it is a light 2 tribute monster, so you could use Kaiser Seahorse for this. But if you set it, obviously your opponent knew that it was not Blue Eyes, so it depended on a few things, but it's still a very good monster. Even in attack, it's 2100. In the GOAT format, 2100 was very good. We have Opticlops, I believe the name is. This is good all around, just basic beat stick, and even in defense it was still pretty potent. We have the Dragon Dwelling in the Cave with 2000 defense. And we have... Oh, wait, no, that's not his name. What is it? And this would be the number 2. But, whatever. This was to stall the opponent, and this was to go over the opponent. And basically, you just set this, hope the opponent attacks into it, they lose life points, you tribute it, you get this bigger one, and you just blow their monster away and kill them. This was the little theme, let's say, from back then. We have Lord of D. This guy was pretty decent for your dragon combos, basically. But the thing with this guy is he is weak on his own, which meant that you could easily get him killed and leave your dragon monsters unprotected. But he also allowed you to do some crazy good combos with Flute of the Summoning Dragon or something like that, which allowed you to just spam dragons and beat your opponent down in one turn. But if you didn't, he was easily killed and you would lose a lot of life points. We have Magical Marionettist or something like that. Magical Marionette or whatever. It's a good monster. It's not a very strong monster, but the effect was decent. I don't remember the effect though. Here we have, what's his name again? Is it Trap Eater? Something like that. It's a flip effect where you just target a face down card your opponent controls, and if it was a trap, you destroy it or something like that. Or was it for spells? No, I believe it was for traps. We have Hain, which was one of the classic flip effect monsters from back then, where when it flipped, instead of destroying a monster like Man-Eater Bug, this one would return it to the hand. It's not as good as Man-Eater Bug in that day and age, but still, it's a very cheap card that a lot of people used to play for those reasons back then. Witch of the Dark Forest. A little more playable than Sangan in different decks, depending, but Spellcaster decks really appreciated this card. And it went with defense instead of attack, which is also another way of using cards that had high attack but low defense. Very powerful card. Mystic Tomato, a very decent searcher, that special summoned card. Mad Sword Beast, I believe. I don't quite remember what this card does, but I think it's piercing damage. Not sure. Another syllable monster, I believe, or something that I honestly do not remember this card's name or its ability, but it has a number 1000, so I would say it's something about not being killed with monsters that have an original attack of 1000. I honestly do not know. I won't start saying nonsense, so I'll just stop right there and go to the next. Paladin of White Dragon, sweet. So this card was good and easily summonable back then because it's a level 4 ritual monster with 1900 attack. So you could do your normal summon and ritual summon this guy. And this guy was a card that you could use to special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon afterwards. So it's very easy to use, and you'd have like 2 or 3 good monsters on your field. And hopefully your opponent won't have anything, and you just go over the opponent right there. Very good card. And it's ritual spell. White Dragon Summoning or something like that. Not too sure anymore. But it's still a very powerful combo from back then. We have Okazi or Ukazi, which inflicted 800 damage of, effect damage to your opponent's life points. We have Fisher, getting rid of your opponent's bigger monsters. We have Dispel, which targets a face-down card on the opponent's side of the field. If it's a spell, boom it. If it's not, set it back. But also works on face-up spells. I keep saying face-down, but it works on face-up spells too. We have Monster Reborn, classic old-school card that's still banned. We have, I think this is Kid Spy or something like that. I don't remember what it does, but maybe it's something like watching something your opponent had face down or something like that. Flute of Summoning Dragon, very cool. Allowed you to, I know it's 2 dragon monsters you could special summon, but you had to control Lord of D or something like that. You have Change of Heart. We have offering, offering tribute. No, I don't remember this card's name. Damn, but you could tribute your opponent's monster, which was very relevant. We have Mountain, which in Korean apparently is just one word. Pretty cool. Well, a lot of Asian languages use only one word for that. We have Tribute to the Doomed, Rush Recklessly, Megamorph, Nobleman of Crossout, Premature Burial, because obviously Monster Reborn is not enough. We have Fairy Meteor Crush, which is capable of allowing your monsters to do piercing battle damage, which is very good. Oh, I noticed we do not have a Dark Hole in this deck. Only Yugi had one. Darn. Okay. That will be interesting when we start playing against each other. Trap Hole, just Desert, because burn damage is always very relevant. This is something Gift. Allows you to gain life points, like 300 life points for every monster of same name or something like that. No, that's not it. But it's something like 300 life points you gain for some reason. We have Dust Tornado. We have, oh, this is the Luminescent Light? No, Light something. I really do not remember what it does, nor its name, because I don't remember using it that much. But I think it's something like your opponent can't set cards, or you see your opponent's face down monsters or something like that. We have Jar of Greed, because Pot of Greed is too OP. This is Super Saiyan, apparently. I do not remember what it does, nor its name, but this guy is definitely not happy, and he is ready to pound some sense into your opponent. And it's a counter trap, so obviously, I mean, this is something like protecting yourself or whatever. We have, this is Dragon Burst, or something like that. I do not remember what it does, but I remember you need a dragon on your field. And we have Tribe D or D Tribe, something like that, which I don't remember what it does, but the artwork is amazing. I would assume it's something like it makes your monsters dragon type or something like that. So the Yugi deck has all around better spell and traps, I believe, than the KAIBA deck, but the KAIBA deck seems to have some very potent monsters. Like, we do have a ritual in both decks, although the Luster one for the Yugi deck will be a lot stronger than this one, and it's a special summonable 3000 attack beat stick, so that is very powerful. Yugi had a lot of equipped spells that dealt a lot of advantage, but KAIBA can tribute his opponent's monsters. He can also burn the opponent with quite a few cards, actually, with 2 cards here. I mean, there is some disadvantage on a few fronts, but there are some advantages on a few other fronts. So I think these are pretty equal to some degree. I would say that the bigger difference in these 2 decks will be made by the luck we'll be having opening the Pharaoh's Servant booster boxes I ordered. I think it's Pharaoh's Servant. Yeah, it should be Pharaoh's Servant that I ordered. Those include cards like Call the Haunted. I believe, is it Jinzo? No, I don't remember if it's Jinzo, but there's also an Imperial Order. Yeah, Jinzo's in there too. There's a Premature Burial, although it's already in this deck. There are very powerful cards in that set from the old days, and we'll see if any of those will be pulled and added to any of these 2 decks, because that will probably make the bigger difference in the actual on-paper power of the deck. Other than that, it would probably just be the strategies and the luck once the game starts. But I mean, the decks in general are pretty equal. There's 1, 2... There are 3 monsters to be tribute summoned in here, and in the Yugi deck, it's also 3. Gaia, Summon Skull, and Dark Magician. So I mean, it's pretty equal in those parts. In all fairness, everything will be decided in the future. For now, this was the video. You guys just saw some very good nostalgia factor cards. I can't say we got great pulls because obviously these were to be included in this deck. But I'm very happy I got to open this again after so long. It's been at least 12 years since I've opened these starters. So even if it's in Korean, it still brings back a lot of good memories, and I'm glad to be sharing this with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, like the video, comment, subscribe, share. If you didn't enjoy, leave a constructive comment. Do not insult. That is just plain useless. But yeah, I look forward to you guys participating in the comment section on saying combos or any good moments you remember from back in the days, from the Yu-Gi and KAIBA era, before GX. Everything that used to be what we now call GOAT format because of Scapegoat, everything from back then is really just good memories for me, basically, because back then I wasn't competitive. I just collected and played with friends. I didn't really care about anything. I was just a child back then. So yeah, I hope you guys also have fond memories of those. Please share them. I really like to see comments. I really like answering and sharing stuff with you guys. We'll try to do this a little more often / better constructed series when the next opening will be for the OCG cards. But until then, I will still be opening TCG cards. I hope you guys don't think I'm only going to be opening OCG cards from now on. I will keep opening TCG cards. I will do some TCG deck profiles. The purpose of this channel is to entertain you guys and do some hobby-related stuff like Yu-Gi-Oh! And I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys. Penem out.